Marvel's woke Captain America celebrates the 4th of July by saying the American dream isn't real. Jen Psaki and the White House take credit for 4th of July savings. Plus, we'll talk to our special guest, Amanda Makki. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a Saturday live stream.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Saturday. I hope you're having a great day. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with Captain America because it's Independence Day weekend, the 4th of July, and Captain America represents everything that is good with America, right? Well, not exactly. Marvel Comics is celebrating. It's 2021, and we have the woke corporate America pushing this leftist agenda to hate America, to do whatever it can to turn your backs away from America. And now that includes Captain America. Here is how he is celebrating the 4th of July. Marvel Comics is celebrating Independence Day by having the iconic hero Captain America tell readers that the American dream isn't real. The first issue of the United States of America by writer Christopher Cantwell sees Steve Rogers, the famous red, white, and blue Avenger, lament the nation's white picket fence fallacy. I'm loyal to nothing except the dream, the character says. Here's the thing about the dream, though. A dream isn't real. I'm starting to think America actually has two dreams and one lie. The first American dream is the one that isn't real. It's one some people expect to just be handed to them, and then they get angry when it disappears, when the truth is it never really existed in the first place. Oh my gosh, this is Captain America in 2021, that the American dream isn't real? I guess according to Marvel and all this other corporate left wokesters, you're supposed to hate America, that you're not supposed to work for the American dream. Work and save. Don't rely on government. Earn your way up. Make your fortune. Make your living. Capture that American dream. But now he says he's not loyal to anything except a dream that doesn't exist. And here's more. The character then laments another marketed version of America that doesn't really exist, one with white picket fences. Instead, the character discusses an America that doesn't get along nicely with reality, other cultures, immigrants, the poor. We're at our best when we keep no one out, the title character says at one point. A good dream is shared radically, shared with everyone. When something isn't shared, it can become the American lie. Shared radically? I guess Captain America is pro-open borders now. And that's the thing. Look at the message that they're saying. If you look at the comic, which was included in a Washington Times story, he blasts the picket fence, that it becomes a gate to oppression, basically. The left is showing us that we need to hate America, to hate patriotism, and now even Captain America is joining in. And now make no mistake, Marvel has been going left for a while. It's just been getting worse lately. Here's some examples. Marvel made similar headlines in July 2017 when it revealed Steve Rogers to be a secret agent of Hydra. The company also riled conservative readers in February 2010 when it pitted the character against angry white folks at an apparent Tea Party rally. A lewd message related to Tea Party activists was removed from future printings of the book and blamed on someone in lettering and production, the media watchdog Newsbusters reported at the time. You know, it's always someone in lettering and production. That is the go-to thing. For me, it's just the producer. I just got to blame the producer. But hey, folks, here's the deal. I am a huge comic book fan, huge superhero fan. I watched all the Marvel movies. I just love these heroes. And so it breaks my heart that they are going in this woke direction, that Captain America now is saying these things that basically tells you, again, to hate America, to not pursue the American dream, that the American dream is not real. Well, guess what? I am living proof that the American dream is real. My dad died when I was 15 years old. My sisters were 13 and 6. We were left with nothing. My mom had no college degree, yet we worked. We worked and worked and worked. Was it easy? No. But the American dream is real because we're living it. All right. Next, let's talk about Jen Psaki in the White House. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, regardless of platform, Just search out my name, hit that subscribe button, make sure notifications are turned on. That way you can follow the show and help us grow. All right, so let's talk about Jen Psaki, the White House, and this 4th of July message that they're talking about, because to me, this is their let them eat cake moment, because they are so out of touch. They are so out of tune. They actually want you to be thankful for the 4th of July savings that you are experiencing this weekend. It's like let them eat cake, or Nancy Pelosi's let them eat ice cream. You're supposed to be thankful to the Biden administration for this weekend. They put out this tweet. Check out how ridiculous it is. Planning a cookout this year? Catch up on the news. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of a 4th of July barbecue is down from last year. It's a fact you must heard. Hot dog, the Biden economic plan is working, and that's something we can all relish. And then you see the dramatic result. The cost is down 16 cents from last year. You don't know how hard it was when I was kind of rehearsing to get through that tweet, because it's so bogus. It's so outrageous. They want you to relish the fact that you're saving 16 cents when in reality, prices are going up. And we're going to get to that a little bit later with our guest. But folks, the Democrats are so out of touch. Check this out. This is Nancy Pelosi from 2018.
In terms of the bonus that corporate America received versus the crumbs that they are giving to workers to kind of put the schmooze on is so pathetic.
Oh my gosh, this bonus that she's talking about, the bonus that she described as crumbs, that's $1,000 tax bonus that the Democrats described as crumbs. And yet now they want us to be thankful this 4th of July weekend for 16 cents. It's absolutely outrageous. And of course, there's huge blowback. Jen Psaki was asked about it. Check out this exchange.
On another subject, the official White House account tweeted yesterday, the cost of a 4th of July cookout is down 16 cents from last year. 16 cents?
There has been a reduction in some of the costs of key components of the 4th of July barbecue. That was what the tweet was noting.
So does the White House think that 16 cents off a barbecue has more of an impact on people's lives than gas being $1 more this time? This 4th of July?
I would say if you don't like hot dogs, you may not care of the reduction of costs. You don't have to like hot dogs.
You can't buy a
but
hot dog for 16 cents.
A reduction
That's like a
of.
bite
I
a
will
hot
say
dog.
that what we are most focused on is the fact that we've created now more than 3 million jobs since the president took office. That's what we're focused on, and continuing to implement additional components of his economic Build Back Better agenda. Go ahead.
She's absolutely positively lame, folks. I mean, she's joking about hot dogs. Do you really think that's the point that Ducey's asking from Fox News about the hot dogs exactly? No, just talking about the fact that prices are going out of control and the White House is tweeting about relishing the hot dog news of 16 cents. And then she deflects, of course, to the 3 million jobs created under the Biden administration. Folks, this is 3 million recovered jobs. People are going back to work. They didn't create anything. In fact, I wonder what that number would really be if the Democrats weren't paying people to stay home. Yet that's what's going on with Jen Psaki, with the White House. It's absolutely outrageous. All right, so that brings us now to our special guest. I'm so excited to have her on the show. I'm talking about Amanda Makki. She's a Republican strategist, attorney. She is a frequent contributor to Fox News, to Newsmax, to a host of other media outlets. She's also a frequent guest on the 13-minute news hour. So we're so happy to have her today. Amanda, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Bobby.
All right,
Happy
Amanda,
Independence Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy Independence Day to everybody out there. Amanda, thanks for joining us. So, I mean, where do you want to start even? We've got this tweet from the White House. What did you think when you saw that?
I thought 16 cents based on whose estimate? The cost of everything has gone up. I mean, people, you go grocery shopping and you know that the price of chicken, pork, beef, it's gone up exponentially. 50%. The things that I buy, some have gone up 100%. I like these buffalo chicken bites. They used to be $6.99 at Sam's Club. Now they're $12. So that's a 100% increase. The price of everything has gone up. Unemployment, 9.5 million Americans unemployed. A lot of people sitting at home because in Joe Biden's America, you get paid to sit at home. That's where you get your paycheck, by sitting on your butt watching TV. Because that's not the America most of us grew up in, Bobby. Certainly not you, certainly not me. Our parents worked for a paycheck, and that's the way it is. And that's where we learned that we have to work to earn a living. I started working when I was 9 years old. I delivered newspapers, 9 cents a door. I graduated to work on selling gift wrapping, and then babysitting, and eventually I worked in a doctor's office and worked my way up. But I started working when I was 9 because I watched my parents work really hard. Look, we were legal immigrants to this country. We had to work for everything. We didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, but my parents worked hard. I watched them, and that is the example that was shown to me. What's happening in Joe Biden's America is that we passed a $2 trillion stimulus bill back in March, and you have had nothing but inflation, hyperinflation in the housing market, inflation in just about everything that we buy. Again, 16 cents when you're paying 42% more for gas, and on the incline with rising gas prices. How is that in any way comforting to the person who's on a fixed income? Look, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, where a lot of people here live on their pension, live on retirement, and that is really hard for them to have to go pay $100 for what used to cost them $50 at Walmart or at their local grocery store.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's funny is that Joe Biden said he wasn't going to raise taxes. It's only on those uber wealthy. Yet everything you just said is basically a tax. If prices are going up through no fault of anyone's own except the actions of the government, that's a tax increase. That is hurting people. And it was awesome what you said about how you grew up, because, you know, I felt the same way. We were proud to be Americans. We worked hard. That's what we were taught. And now you see that, hey, that's out the window. But also this whole idea of loving America, great American melting pot, colorblind society. We see that being attacked with this critical race theory stuff that more and more parents are getting to know, they're getting educated about, and the left's attacking us like we don't know what we're talking about. What do you think about that issue and what needs to be done?
Well, critical race theory, for those who don't know what it is, basically says that we are an inherently racist country. And based on that premise, reparations should be paid. And based on that premise, critical race theory is a form of reparation. It's a form of paying back. Look, I wrote about this in the Washington Times last month, and as a minority woman myself, I talk about how when I was in high school in Montgomery County, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., my lab partner in AP chemistry, which we both worked so hard to advance to get into an AP chemistry class, he was African American. He ended up playing in the NFL, one of the best athletes in the state of Maryland, and really, you know, nationally when he played in the NFL. But the point is that he was Black, I was, you know, a minority, and what critical race theory says is that we don't want to hurt you because you're brown, you're Black. We don't want to disparately affect you. What we want to do is take away these advanced classes because they hurt you while benefiting white people and by benefiting Asian Americans. I mean, that's how ludicrous this is. And so basically, you're not going to be teaching advanced levels of math, advanced levels of science, advanced technology to students because you say that inherently this affects Blacks and browns differently than it affects whites and Asians. It benefits one group while hurting another. Is there anything more racist than that? Are you really saying that because of my skin color, I can't perform well in an advanced level science or math class? That's what they're saying. And actually, the American Teachers Union, 3 million members strong, is pushing for this to be included, and they're going to be voting on this to be included in school curriculums throughout the country. Fortunately, you have someone like Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida who has banned it. You have about a third of the states in America that have either banned it or have introduced legislation or have passed legislation which the governor has not signed. A third of the country has already enacted some form of legislation on critical race theory because it is that pervasive and is that much of a threat to our nation's students.
Yeah, it is just terrible what is going on. But the thing is that what the left would say is, how can Ron DeSantis do that when it's not being taught, when it's not doesn't exist, and you don't know what you're talking about? That's the only recourse that the left and the Democrats have now, is that we don't know what we're talking about. It's not being taught. It doesn't exist. But we see what's happening. We see what's going on. And, what they push on people just makes these kids confused. I'm half Hispanic. I don't know if I'm supposed to hate myself or say Viva, La Mexico. I don't even know, because they push these messages of hate. If you're white, you're supposed to be hated. And it's just a message that does not bring people together. It does not unify. It does not make us the United States of America. And I want to move on to the border, because we've seen a lot of stuff. President Trump actually went down there. Kamala Harris made her so-called visit there. But the situation is still out of control, and they keep pushing open borders. And it looks like Captain America is doing the same thing. What did you think about those trips, the contrast of trips between former President Trump and Kamala Harris?
Well, President Trump actually went to the heart of the issue. That is the actual southern border, McAllen, the lower Rio Grande Valley. And that's where the border is actually in influx. And that's where you have the Customs and Border agents working so tirelessly day and night to secure the border. Kamala Harris went to El Paso, which technically, yes, it is a border town, but that's not where the locus of the issue is. And, she went because President Trump was going there. He, in effect, put pressure on her. And I think that was the genius of this all, is that President Trump waited 100 days for her to be in that role, about 6 months into this administration. And none of them went, not the president, not the vice president. They never went. And it didn't happen until Trump said, I'm going to the border and I'm taking my House colleagues with me. And Governor Abbott is inviting me to go. When she then decided she would make her trip, I can assure you that she would never have gone to the border. She would never have gone to El Paso. She would have never gone to the state of Texas because the month before she went where? To Guatemala, 2,000 miles away from the actual southern border. And I will say this, when you talk about caring about women and children, you cannot say that when you're allowing this humanitarian crisis to occur on the border, sexual assaults, victims of sexual crimes to pay back their coyotes for getting to America. This is happening on President Biden and Kamala Harris's watch every day, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, it is absolutely terrible what is going on. They won't do anything. They want us to forget it. The media doesn't push them on it, and yet the stats keep getting worse. I think they just thought, like, magically maybe in May it'll be better than April, or April was better than February, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah, absolutely. Now I want to have people to, because we've gotten to talk, quite a bit from various media hits and things like that. I want to give people some background on how you got involved, because you're actually, if people didn't know, outside the state of Florida, you were a congressional candidate just this last cycle. But how did that political bug get you? How did your upbringing help forge that path for you?
Well, my father was very politically involved, and he's a physician, but he always loved politics. And so he'd have me sit with him as a young child and watch the various conventions and talk to me about politics. And he explained to me why we were Republicans. And I got involved in college Republicans, young Republicans. I was at the convention. I've actually been to every convention since 2000. So I got the political bug early. And when I graduated from college, I had a great job opportunity. I was a finance major. And in 2000, there were a lot of opportunities for students, great economy. But I chose to go in politics, giving up a salary, giving up a wage to live in my parents' home again and work on the Bush-Cheney campaign, which I did. And that eventually led to a job at the Pentagon as a political appointee just weeks after 9/11. As a native Farsi speaker, I worked in the Pentagon and I pursued my dream of going to law school. I went to law school. And while I was in law school, I worked on Capitol Hill. I was a healthcare attorney. Not only while I was in law school, but I worked after I graduated for various members of Congress advising on Obamacare and the ills of Obamacare. And then from there, I went on to work in a diabetes company and as a partner in a very large law firm. And it was awesome to be one of the youngest partners in a very large global law firm. Very rewarding, but it wasn't quite the feeling that you get of public service. And I gave it up to give up my salary, give up my job, and run for Congress. And it was really a remarkable thing that I did for me personally, because it tests a side of you that you don't really know yourself. You're selling yourself. You're not selling a product. You're not selling the law firm you work for. You're not working behind a member of Congress. You are representing yourself, and you're going out every day trying to get a contribution to get people to support you. And, I raised over $1 million on my own. None of it came from any one source or family money or anything. It was all through my hard work. And that was because I told people about the American dream and the way that I grew up in America, and that's what we need. And now it's become even worse, more radicalized, more socialism. I tell everyone, people sitting at home and collecting a paycheck is nothing more than socialism, and that's where they want to take this country down the road. I was born in Iran, and I immigrated here when I was about 11 months old. My family and I, we escaped. And people always ask about, well, why did you escape? Well, my father was very supportive of the Shah and the administration that was there before. It was a monarchy. Within 15 days, the country went from being a monarchy to being ruled by mullahs, a religious theocracy. And people don't believe that it can happen that fast, but it can. So when people say this country is moving towards socialism, it doesn't take very long. Look at examples in world history, and you'll see that it does happen. And it's a very scary thing. And I am going to be running again. I will be filing this month in July. And I would love everyone's support. But the reason that I'm doing it is because, one, we can take back our country. One party rule is dangerous. And we have one party ruling Washington right now. The Democrats have run wild with their imagination of trying to pack the courts, give DC statehood, and all the ills that we always talk about on your show. But we've got to stop them. And the first thing that we have to do is take back Congress. We're only 5 seats shy. That's the lowest we've kept the Democrats to, the lowest number of seats since World War II. So we can do it, and we're going to do it. And I'm lucky and excited that I can be a part of this and run again.
Man, I'm stoked. This is awesome. It's like we have breaking news right here on the Saturday live stream. That is so awesome, and you have a really great story, and I always appreciate that when people they ask me, how do you get involved in politics, and I kind of tell them my step-by-step story, and it's just, you do it one step at a time. You get that knowledge, you get that experience. But if you don't mind, I want to go back to 2000 because our crack research team over here, it's not like we try to embarrass our guests, but they're pretty good at digging up some stuff. So I got to get your reaction. First of all, here's a picture. Here's me in 2000. Here's what I was doing. This is with the former RNC chairman, Jim Nicholson. I was out campaigning for Bush Cheney. We were in Seattle on one of these strike force teams. But I hear from our research that you had a little bit of different experience. You were at one of the presidential debates, the Republican primary debate. Turns out Comedy Central and The Daily Show was there. I want to give people a little flavor for what they were doing.
Now, last week's debate in New Hampshire was one of the first times voters had a chance to see how the candidates stacked up against each other. The Daily Show was there, in force with exclusive team coverage that included brand new custom-made jackets.
A political debate, a statement of position, and an exchange of ideas between rival candidates.
But sometimes the debate can deteriorate into raucous name-calling and low blows.
What will happen tonight? Will it be a well-mannered love fest or a roll-in-the-mud, knock-down, drag-out slugfest? One can only hope for low blows galore.
All right, so friends, you see what's going on here. You see that The Daily Show just wanted to go out and talk to people, throw out some outrageous questions, and get reactions. Here's a sample.
Let me ask you, why Forbes, why now?
No, why McCain, why now? Sorry.
If you love Santa Claus, you love George Bush.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, I do.
What if you don't love Santa Claus?
All right, so you see what's going on here. Now, friends, take a look at this. So they move on to another group of George W. Bush supporters. Pay careful attention to the question and even the reaction from the blonde-haired girl. But pay attention to the question and who gives the answer. Check this out.
Tonight is George W. Bush's first appearance with the other candidates. Do you expect him to be a master debater?
Yes, I think he's going to do very well.
So,
Clearly.
So did you understand?
No idea.
Did you understand what he was saying?
There, what they were actually asking me.
That was amazing. I mean, your friend, she clued in right at the beginning, but so did you understand that he was asking you if George W. Bush was a master debater?
I did not, because it was so cold. And we had been, this is in New Hampshire, we had been standing outside. We weren't as fortunate as the Forbes team that had hand warmers and hot chocolate. We weren't given those niceties. So we were just standing there trying to stay warm. And after a few hours, I think your mind goes numb, or at least mine did. And
Right.
that was hence the answer. And I really actually thought he was a local reporter. I didn't watch Comedy Central because, as I was saying, I worked when I was in college and I didn't really have time to watch TV. So I didn't even know who he was.
Oh my gosh. Now, apparently from our research, there was actually more to the video. Can you kind of explain what happened next?
The next was, will he shoot to the top? And I think I said yes.
Nice. Very good. Very politically savvy right there. But that was awesome. See, nothing escapes our team right there. So
Nothing
you have
escapes. But you know, this is that you got to be able to laugh at yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
In politics, it's a hard thing. Every day, someone's going to tell you why you aren't good enough or why you didn't raise this or do this. So you got to laugh at yourself, even when the joke's on you.
Right. Well, with me, it's often on me, and I'll just roll with it. But all right. So now let's get into, because I think this background is just fascinating. So you ran the last time. If there's people out there, that are interested in politics, even, as a candidate level or as a staff level, what was that experience like? What did you learn from it? What did came out, feeling good or maybe feeling bad about it that you'll learn next time, but that you could pass along to people saying, hey, I ran, here's what it's like.
I ran, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who has the ability to really spend 9 to 10 hours a day calling people and asking them for money. People think it's about going out and meeting people, which it is. It absolutely is. But you don't have a voice if you don't raise money. And people forget that. People think running for office is about shaking hands and kissing babies. And it is. However, you need to spend 90% of your time doing something else, which is fundraising, and 10% of your time doing the, going around and talking to people. I think it's a split. I really think you just need to be comfortable enough to where you don't have people on your back saying you need to raise money, you're not raising enough money, but then split the rest of your time really talking to people and getting to know what the issues are. If people see you, if people know that you're present, and if people know that you listen, that'll make a huge difference. Knocking doors is a huge thing. And it's very old school because everyone says, well, you can now, get into people's text messaging and you can email them and you can do all those things. That's all important too. You need money for that. But it is just as important that you put on your sneakers and you go out and you knock on doors. And if you're comfortable doing these things, I really encourage you to do it. It's an amazing experience. It's the form of government that we have, that you can represent people, and it's an awesome form of government. And that's what we need: more young people, more conservatives out there doing the same.
Yeah, it's amazing. And folks, what Amanda said is absolutely right. I helped run a campaign last time around as communications director and campaign manager. And so many people talk about the tech. So many people talk about social media, and it is important. You need to have a presence out there. But is this a face-to-face meet and greets where you might get 30 or 40 people at a time, maybe even less, and going door to door? It is that person-to-person contact. And especially now, people are craving it. They want that. They've been locked down, maybe not here in Texas or in Florida, but people want that interaction. They want to see you, look in your eye as you talk about these issues. That's awesome, Amanda. If people want to help you out or find out more information, where can they go?
Well, my website, amandamakki.com, M-A-K-K-I, and then Amanda Makki for Congress on Facebook and Amanda Makki on Instagram and my YouTube channel. We'll be kicking off here in a few weeks, and we would love everyone's support. As I said, you need to have money to have a voice. We're within 5 seats, folks, of taking our country back. This is really important. And one thing that's going to be different about last time I ran than this time is Trump was in office. A lot of people presumed that, Trump would be back in office again, and we all wished that. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for a variety of reasons, which we can do on another show. But
Right.
that not happening caused Biden to take over. The House was flipped. The House stayed Democrat, but the Senate flipped, and it didn't flip by much, but enough for the Democrats to control the Senate, which means every lever of the federal government right now is controlled by Democrats. That's different than last time I ran, where there wasn't someone to say, look, they're doing critical race theory. They're trying to promote socialism, because government was at the hands of a good person, President Trump. Now we have a very different show. And that's why I think it's going to be even better for Republicans this year than Democrats. I think Democrats are going to lose a lot of seats, but this is our opportunity to take back Congress and take back Washington.
Hey, Amanda, real quick, we did have one question from my friend Kyle. He's outrageous, but he's in the chat, and he keyed in on you working at the Pentagon for a while. And in light of the Pentagon just releasing this report on UFOs, he wants to know if you learned anything about the aliens.
When I was there, we didn't talk about the UFOs, but I am just as interested in this report as I think really this has become a bipartisan issue. You have Senator Rubio and Democrats all talking about we have to know what this phenomenon is about. I don't normally, say anything good about 60 Minutes, especially when they go after my governor, but I think this was an interesting report that 60 Minutes worked on, and it's really drawn the fascination of a lot of people. So I'm glad to see that the Department of Defense and our intelligence forces are working on this. People are intrigued.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've been, I worked at NASA for 12 years and aerospace engineer background, so I am completely fascinated with this. I want to know what's going on. There's been so many reports of airline pilots, military pilots, people on the ground in mass numbers seeing things. I'd like to know the real story of what's going on. But Amanda, thanks so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. Have an awesome 4th of July weekend.
Thank you so much, Bobby.
All right, we'll see you. All right, folks, Amanda was awesome, and I encourage you to go visit her website, amandamakki.com, all the other social media sites. I had no idea she was running. That was news to me. That was really cool that she released it right there. But folks, we've got a lot to do, and people should be willing to step forward and do things. There's just so much going on, and we see it. We see with critical race theory. They're pushing that in the schools, and I guarantee if it weren't for parents speaking out and fighting back, they just keep going and going and going. We're a little late getting on the ball with entertainment and sports and media and education. They're taking over all of this. But now this little curriculum, we're fighting back. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep fighting. We need to keep doing more. I'll be on for a couple minutes. I want to just take a scan through the show, see if you have any questions. If you have any questions for me, please ask. I saw one. Someone was asking, do we have any to throw up or? Okay, yeah, let's throw this up on the screen. And what do we have here? We've got, do we have it here or there we go. Will you run? Will I run? Me? Okay. So yeah, I'm getting, Amanda's running. I'm more the communications type. I don't want to go full Jen Psaki on you and deflect, but chances are I could end up doing it. I definitely have a call to service. I want to help. I want to do my part. I think we're delivering a good message with this show, and that's why I always encourage you to share it with your friends. Not just so we can have numbers, so we can have so many subscribers, but all of us, especially with the people I talk to in the chat, you can feel that community. You can feel that bond. We want to spread that out. We want to share that with other people, folks that might not be involved in politics, folks that might not follow the issues like we do. Those are the people that we need to reach. We need to tell them, hey, if you're turning on CNN or MSNBC, look at what they're saying. I've got a different perspective. I want to show you what's going on out there using the science or the facts in reality, not like their spin, and show you what's out there. If you're only getting that one side, you're missing a lot. You are missing the true direction of the country, because many people don't know how bad it is out there and that we are the only ones who can fight back. So chances are I'll probably be stepping out there, but I absolutely love what I am doing now. I love having this show grow. The fact that we have been picked up by Right Side Broadcasting, who reaches 1.5 million on YouTube, another 1 point something on Facebook, and more on Rumble and all these other social media outlets. I'm very thankful to be part of that team. I look forward to doing more with them, more with Newsmax. But you know, that calling is there, and so we'll see how it goes. But other than that, folks, I did want to share one little bit, since it's the 4th of July weekend. This kind of goes into the with friends like these, who needs enemies. When I was at Notre Dame, this is for a theology seminar. I'm working on my degree. Great folks. I met some really cool folks, but you need to be careful what you say to them. So we're talking, and we're telling about the college years, and I was talking about how, I wasn't really a beer guy. So if you're not a beer guy in college, based when I went to college, you became the wine cooler guy. You were Bartles and James and Seagram's and all of this. So this guy, bright and early, this 4th of July Independence Day weekend, as we're getting ready for the cookouts, he texts me this. He says, "Enjoy your weekend. They have a whole shelf just for you." So that's for my friend Rick. And paybacks are coming, my friend. Paybacks are coming. But folks, I hope you have just an enjoyable weekend. That's our show for today. But don't forget, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, regardless of platform, just search out my name, hit that subscribe button, make sure notifications are turned on. That way you can follow the show and help us grow. All right, so our next show, a regular edition of the 13-minute news hour, will be on Monday. It will be on at our usual time, 11:45 a.m. Central Time, and in the evening at 8 p.m. on Right Side Broadcasting, on Rumble, on Facebook. We'll be back on Right Side on YouTube in about a week. But please tune in. Please tell your friends. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a Saturday live stream. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.